you weren't with us a little bit earlier, Russell Westbrook and OKC went into Utah and got a victory against the Jazz team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. You might recall in the playoffs, Russell Westbrook involved with an altercation with a fan there and mentioned at the time that Utah fans were disrespectful and they were vulgar. Once again, Westbrook was involved in Utah with an incident with fans, which was captured on videotape.
I promise you, we are playing. I swear to God. I swear to God. I'll you up. You and your wife. I'll you up. I promise you, everything I love. Everything I love. I promise you.
New on SportsCenter after the game, Westbrook on what happened in that incident.
Obviously, everybody's talking about the same video, but the realization of it is how it started was a young man and his wife in the stands told me to get down on my knees like he used to. And for me, that's just completely disrespectful to me. I think it's racial. I think it's just inappropriate in the sense of there's no protection for the players. I think there are a lot of great fans around the world that like to come to the game and enjoy the game. And there are people that come to the game and to say mean, disrespectful things about me, my family. For many years, man, I done all the right things. I've never done anything to hurt or harm anybody. I've never been in any trouble. Never fought a fan. Been in the league 11 years. Clean slate. Humble. I take all the criticism from everybody. I've been doing the same thing for years. And for me, disrespect will not be taken from me. I'm completely just sit back sometime and just take it like that. That's just one video, but throughout the whole game, since I've been here, especially here in Utah, every time I come here, there's a lot of disrespectful things I said. And for me, I'm just not going to continue to take the disrespect from my family. I just think that there's got to be something done. There's got to be some consequences for those type of people that come to the game just to say and do whatever they want to say. And I don't think it's fair to the players, not just to me, but I don't think it's fair to the players. And if I had to do it over again, I would say the same exact thing because I truly will stand up for myself, for my family, for my kids, for my wife, for my mom, for my dad every single time. I expect anybody else to do the same. So that's kind of where I'm at with the whole situation. As for his wife, I've never put my hand on a woman. I never will. Never been in any domestic violence before, never had before, but once he said the comment, his wife repeated it, the same thing to me as well. So that's kind of how that started. I know you guys only got the tail end of the video, but the start of the video is way more important and way more disrespectful than what you guys heard. So appreciate y'all.
OKC is scheduled to host the Brooklyn Nets. Well, they will on Wednesday. That's on ESPN. Be interesting to see what, if anything, the league has to say between now and that time. And again, as I said earlier, this isn't, we've seen this incident. It was Durant and a fan in Dallas, right? Shut the bleep up and enjoy the game. Like, this continues to escalate. And my personal belief is, like, people act like idiots on social media, and they'll say things to you there that they would never say to you face to face. And now you see more and more people that get emboldened to say things face to face as fans where they're convinced that you can't do anything because you can't. Because what's the player going to do? Put his hand on you? Because if he does, you're going to sue him. I don't know what the answer is here. I don't know what the league does to police those fans that are this close, from me to the camera, as fans are to Russell Westbrook. But my fear here is that as this continues to escalate, that we are almost certain at this pace to see something like what we saw in the Palace between the Pacers and the Pistons and those fans. It wasn't the teams as much as the fans years ago. So will be very interesting to me there in the third. Celtics with some work to do to complete that California road sweep, but it seems like they're going to perhaps get there. It started with a 33-point win in Oakland, worst ever home loss for the Warriors in the Steve Kerr era. Resounding defeat, but when you're the world champs and you lose at home to Phoenix, well, that's when people want to collectively stage an intervention, particularly when they see your coach saying what he appeared to say about Draymond last night. Now, I mean, I'm a pretty decent lip reader, but it looks like, well, I don't think I can say what he said. Coach, what'd you say there? What was that?
The lip readers were wrong. What I said was, I beg to differ with Draymond's approach tonight. Those are my exact words. I don't know how somebody misconstrued that. It's modern life. Everything's recorded. Everything is filmed. I've decided I'm now going to get a giant laminated board with all of my play calls, and I'm going to turn into an NFL coach from here on out.
It's been an odd year, all year for this team. Human nature sets in. Fans get used to this level of accomplishment. They get complacent. Klay Thompson was calling them out last night. The passionate Oracle lunatics long ago have been priced out of the building, and they're not even going to get into the new building. Players get antsy about roles or slights, who might go where, when it's all over at the end of this year. And here's the thing, all they got to do is get along for 3 more months, and then it ends. And it's going to end as currently constructed. They won't be the same team next year. I don't know what that means, but they won't be. And they're vulnerable right now. The East's best teams have all beaten them this year in their building. And if you add them all up, what the Bucks did, what the Celtics did, it's an 85-point margin in those games. I might add, though, is anyone going to beat them 4 out of 7? Because, like, you can beat them once, even by a lot, but is anyone going to beat them 4 out of 7? Rockets almost did last year. Rockets fans like, yeah, remember what happened and then Chris Paul got hurt? That is entirely true. That is entirely true. Wednesday, that Golden State team with Steve Kerr now holding up laminated plays so that he doesn't have to talk anymore. They take on Houston. We follow, right? That is the opener, the lid lifter, the Nets, who thumped Detroit. We'll show you those highlights of the Nets later. They're taking on Russell Westbrook. Be curious to see if the league has something to say to Russell between now and then. 2 more tickets punched to the NCAA tournament tonight. And if you were one of those teams lingering on the fringe of the stinky bubble, Steve, what month is this?
This is March.
Bubble stinky. You were rooting for Wofford. They figured to be in even with a loss to UNC Greensboro, and that UNCG team played like a team that might just hand them that L tonight. God loves a Terrier. Wofford outscored Greensboro by a bunch this year. This was a very different game. Wofford trailing. Nathan Hoover. I hate long twos, but that's a good one. Francis Alonso. This guy can play, man. Smooth, doesn't rush anything. Euro stepping. Looked like it should have been an and one. They didn't get the call. UNCG's up 3. Here's where Wofford begins its assault. Hoover float game, 3-point game. Now the kick, Hoover, Splappa, tie game.
The slow death begins if you had UNCG.
Yeah, if you had UNCG, that felt like team right side. And slow death is just what it was. Man, they run good stuff. A foul there.
And that's the 3rd on Alonso.
Foul there, and Hoover makes the threes. Now you get a block, and it goes off the head of foul. Isaiah Miller. Let's see, any contact? Nope, just a good block, and it goes off the head of the UNCG player, Miller. And they make 13 straight free throws?
At least. Felt like 113.
They made a lot of free throws. They won by 12.
Good for them.
Wofford is hands down the most interesting team to me in terms of how they will be judged by the selection committee. Had they not won tonight, I think they would have gotten in anyway, but they're in, so we don't have to worry about that. The NCAA created these net rankings. You've heard all about them. And they say those rankings are simply a tool to use. Okay, how do you use that tool to seed a team that your rankings have 14? That's a 4 seed, and it's closer to a 3 seed than a 5 seed. There's no way they're going to be on the 4 line. Their coach, Mike Young, told me this last week when I asked where he thought they might be seeded.
I think a 7 is a conceivable number for our team.
He added maybe a 6. Wherever they are, this much is certain. Whoever is on the line opposite them is going to be sick because Wofford can really, really play. They're in the dance. Who wants to dance? Like Urban Blight used to sing back in the day. MAC championship with 2 A's, 1 seed Iona, 6th seed Monmouth. Iona looking for its 4th straight MAC title, 6th under Coach Clues. Marcus McCleary there. Monmouth within 3. Dewan Agee silences that crowd. Iona leads by 6. Second half, Gales on a run. Agee, let's take it to 9-0 run. E.J. Crawford spinning, play on, 11-0. Asante Gist, all 3 of these. Iona, Gist again. Game high 22. A 20-2 run in the second half of a conference championship game is a pretty tasty thing. That's 4 straight bids for Iona into the NCAA tournament, a 21-point win over Monmouth. Coming up, senior night edition of Bad Beats featuring one of our own. And at first ever, we're including a teaser and that guy. Is that McConaughey and Beach Bum? Oh, no, it's the Notebook.